What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. Now, I'm Alex. In this video, I'm going to talk about the newest Horizon Zero Dawn 2 rumors. There's actually quite a bit going on, a couple different stories with Horizon Zero Dawn 2. So we're going to talk about them, give my kind of analysis on what's going on, and also connect it to some of the things we've heard in the past, because there are some things here that connect directly to what we've already heard, but still a lot of mystery. So there's a couple things again here, one of which is that it's going to be a trilogy. Now, I don't know how much of a shocker that one is, right? Horizon, the first game, sold outrageously well on the PS4. I think they had expected it to sell well, but I don't think they expected it to be one of literally their like pioneer games now, where you can look to the PS5 and say, all right, Horizon Zero Dawn 2 can realistically, it can sell a lot, but it's also going to sell the system. I mean, this game, when it came out on the PS4, it was massive. I had played it, and I actually went back to it because I never beat it, and I started from scratch again, completely beat it. Also beat the DLC, the Frozen Wilds, which is phenomenal. This game is so good. Again, I don't know how many people consider that a shocker as well, but again, it's planned for 3 games. So that would also mean that Aloy would probably carry over, right? You don't have a 3-game trilogy if you're going to swap out the main character. And again, we've heard that she's going to be in it anyway, or she'll continue being the main character. So again, not all that surprising. Another new thing that was added is that it looks like Horizon Zero Dawn 2, the development of it, kicked off right after the launch of Horizon Zero Dawn 1 back in February of 2017. Again, not a shocker. That's just what games do in general. But here's the big one, is that it was originally supposed to be coming out on the PS4, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, but was shifted entirely to the PS5. Now, again, words are words, and it's tough to judge. And with all these leaks, all these rumors, you have to take them with a grain of salt. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, because you had it again being in 2017. I guess if they had expected to get it out in 3 years, in 2020, which would be right now, right, like 2 months ago back in February, if they had planned it to get out in February of 2020, then maybe yes, it could be reasonably thought of that they would have expected it to be out on the PS4, but now it's shipped to the PS5. Now, the question that I have, and the thing that if you guys go back like 9, 10, 11 months on this channel, one of my first theories about the PS5 is that I predicted that Horizon 2 was going to be a launch day game on the PS5, and it would only come out on the PS5. Now, I really don't think that's going to happen at this point. Again, it was like a very early on prediction that basically I wanted to manifest itself, right, because I really wanted it to be true. I think it could come out around that same time. I think it's more likely it would be next year's spring game, spring of 2021, 4 years after, maybe even the same time, maybe in February. You come out with it, it does insanely well, all that kind of stuff. But would it be a standalone PS5 game? Again, as I've said in a lot of these videos, Microsoft has come out and said, okay, all of our exclusives, they're not exclusives. They're coming out, if they come out on Series X, they're also coming out on Xbox One. So you can get Halo Infinite on either one. Now, again, they were only talking about their exclusives. Other publishers have come out and said, it's kind of the same thing for us. Now, they haven't said that, but Ubisoft, other publishers, Square Enix, has said, we're not touching next-gen exclusively for a while. So pretty much publishers are backing them up and saying, no, we're going to have games on both for quite a while. Sony, rumor had it, was going to pick select games to only be out on the PS5. Is Horizon Zero Dawn 2 one of them? I think it is. I personally think that this is a game that you would want to take the risk and have it only come out on the PS5. I get that could result in limited sales because less people have the PS5 than the PS4, so I get that. I mean, you are taking a massive risk, but at the same time, you got to get people to jump into your next-gen console, and what way to do that? There's really only one way. I guess the power and following your friends that are doing it, those are ways, but the biggest and I think the best way of doing it is by giving us games you can only get on that console. Otherwise, why would you be getting that console, right? And we've had that discussion before. So, again, if they had planned it for 3 years, I guess that's possible. I guess they would have expected it to be on the PS4. Now that they're shifting to the PS5, we'll have to see if it's only on PS5. But again, I'm predicting, or I'm hoping at least, that it is. We know that it's going to be gigantic, boasting a larger game game world that houses greater freedom than the first game. That's like a direct quote. So going to be a massive, massive open world game. Horizon 1, I would say that's a pretty big world. It doesn't really seem that big, but I feel like once you get in there and once you're exploring, especially if you don't use like the travel points, which I did quite often, but actually like the first half of the game I kind of forgot that you could do that. It's a pretty big world, so to know that's going to be even bigger, that's pretty crazy. And there's also chatter about a co-op mode. Now it's just co-op mode. I've read there's like 4 or 5 different sites that I've personally looked at that have like reported the story. They all literally are basically saying the exact same thing. But all of them, it's just mentioned as co-op. We don't know if it is. We don't know what kind of co-op. Is it a multiplayer? Is it literally you can play the whole game with 2 people? What is it? Now, that I feel like is the biggest thing. That I feel like is the thing that like jumps off the page. That like Horizon 2 could be a co-op game, right? That's like a headline title. Here's what I want to connect it to. A while ago, I don't honestly remember when. It could have been a year ago. It could have been half a year ago. And I think I remember making a video on this channel. So there is a video here somewhere on podcast now of me talking about. There was a leak that there was going to be multiplayer in Horizon 2, or that they were working on some sort of multiplayer mode, and a lot of people put it with Horizon 2. And I remember I had the discussion with you guys of, is it Horizon 2 or is it a Killzone thing? Because there's also rumors that possibly at Guerrilla Games, there's 2 studios, and one is making Horizon 2 and another one is making a Killzone. There was also a rumor that there's a Killzone multiplayer, just multiplayer of Killzone, that would be a launch title, a launch game with the PS5, that it's just multiplayer in Killzone. So there's been a lot of different leaks, a lot of different rumors with like all 3 aspects of this, and I feel like they're all on to something. It's just difficult because I feel like it's impossible for all 3, I think, to be right. We'll have to see. Like, if I feel like, again, because we've already heard about the multiplayer, could they still be talking about multiplayer? Now, another thing to keep in mind is they had talked about they wanted a co-op aspect in the first Horizon, and I believe that was single player. They wanted like a single player aspect, but it had to be shelved because it was just too much and they had to focus on other things. So they've already tried co-op and they had to put it on the, on the back burner. Could it be that? So I don't know. I think, and honestly, there's a lot of different, opinions of me that I have on this game. If it is co-op, I've talked about co-op really kind of influencing what the single player would be like in games. We talked about it, actually, I think in a few days from now. I made a Batman video that'll go up. I talk about how there's the positives of playing cooperatively in single player. It can enhance a lot of different things. You can play it with the community. You can play it with your friends. But at the same time, there's a takeaway from the story. Do things get kind of lessened and weakened because of it? I have a lot of opinions on what co-op can and can't do for your game. At the same time, like I do trust them. I really, really do. They've proven with Horizon that they know what they're doing. They brought all the right people on board. It'll just be really interesting because, again, like, could it be, is it multiplayer? Is it like a multiplayer mode? But is that multiplayer mode what people were saying for Horizon? Is that actually the Killzone game that they're thinking of or they're talking about and they just don't know it? Is this co-op only for single player? It's very, very, it's tough. It's tough, honestly, to figure it out, but seems like we're going to get announcements on future PS5 games very, very soon. Over the next month or 2 months, we're going to see the PS5, we're going to see the price, we're going to see the release date, we're going to see new games for it, both in the short term and the long term, and I cannot imagine a world where Horizon isn't part of that showcase. Okay, I think Horizon 2, Spider-Man 2, I think those are the 2 very big headlines. Maybe God of War 2, but that could be further out, even just to show it. I feel like that would maybe be asking too much, but I honestly feel like we're only like a month or 2 away from seeing Horizon 2. Now, would we get the info on the co-op? Would we know what kind of multiplayer stuff is going on? Not necessarily. Ultimately, though, it seems like, if you want to like strip away all of the ruckus, right, and just get down to it, it seems like they're making a bigger, or their intention is to make a bigger, better game for the PS5. Is it exclusively for the PS5? We don't know, right? Is the multiplayer, or is the co-op a multiplayer experience, or is it an actual in-game? When you say co-op, I don't think of multiplayer like an online match. I don't know. I don't even know what they would think of. Like, could you fight the robots? Like, could you fight the dinosaurs? And like some like humans could control them, and humans could control Aloy and a couple other like humans. I don't know. I don't think that would be the case. That would be pretty odd. That would kind of be maybe even like a Batman Origins kind of multiplayer. It'd be very interesting. But when you say co-op, you kind of think of single player, right? But then again, how would it influence and affect the single player, right? The single player was pretty straightforward with Horizon 1, and if you had two people be able to play this game, you're changing up quite a lot of stuff. The basis of what this game would be for a second game would be completely changed. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I think if co-op has that much to do with the story, we would actually get hints or even maybe see it when we first see Horizon. It depends on how much they like inject cooperative play into the single player. That'll depend on if we actually see it or not, I feel like. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you believe this co-op? Do you think it's multiplayer? Do you think it's single player? When do you think this game is going to release? All those things, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed and have that bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll be covering Horizon Zero Dawn 2 whenever it gets announced, leading up to it, leading up to the game releasing, all that kind of stuff. So you guys like Horizon, we will definitely be covering it on this channel, okay? Thank you again so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.